Hello.
Hello. How are you today, beautiful? Thank you for joining me.
I am so happy to be with you, Shayna. Um, just feeling really a lot of warmth and it's like a little bit of internal sunshine sitting here with you.
What a beautiful feeling to experience on a Friday.
Mm, I know. Mm.
So, welcome to Shayna's World. You've been a part of Shayna's World in many ways for several years, but this is Shayna's World on Substack, and I really wanted to introduce you to my world and introduce my world to you, because working with you and being friends with you and just sharing the same birthday, like there's just so many connections between the two of us, has been one of my greatest joys the last several years. um, like, we're not supposed to have favorites as client. I have favorites, I admit it. I have favorite clients, and you are right there at the top of the list.
You are allowed. You're allowed. I know you work with many people who are born on the same day as you. I don't know what that's about. I love it.
It's not like I ask and they have to apply to work with me, so it's not like I'm choosing them. But yeah, with you, I have 5 clients that share my birthday.
Fire signs only.
So today's conversation, because you and I are both such nerds when it comes to the nervous system, was really to share like more on the philosophy of why the nervous system, in my lingo, is your first CFO. Right? We can't outpace or out receive our nervous system. So that's why it's so important in my work. But you are also a somatic educator, um, practitioner. You're an author of an incredible book. I'm always going to get the name wrong because I always forget that it's basically two titles and not one. So I've got it, because I always think of it as peace with food, but peace with self, peace with food.
Yeah.
And I know that a large portion of your work around food is the nervous system, correct?
If it wasn't for our nervous system, I would have nothing to teach and write about. Yeah.
See, that's how important it is. So, first, tell my world about you.
Hmm. Well, I find myself in kind of my mid to late 40s, living a life that I never planned for. And that is a life where I feel very much at ease and satisfied and fulfilled by my work, but I also feel very much satisfied and fulfilled by my relationship with food. And I spent a big part of my life really struggling and trying to fix my relationship with food and try to fix myself and my body. So to have my mid to late 40s free from that is just such a relief and something I never dreamt about.
Mhm.
And I see that in my students when they come to me in their 60s, 70s, 80s, even, what it's like to still be looking for that piece that I have now.
Mhm.
I find myself so fortunate and so happy that I started my somatic learning in my early 30s. I started with Jungian therapy in my late 20s. And so, like 20 years into it, I'm like, yes, there's a way in which I
It's
feel
finally landing.
landing. I feel more at home in my body than ever before. And I feel like, in somatic work, we talk about living from the blueprint. It's this idea that like there's something preloaded in you that is the essence of you, that the more you inhabit yourself in your essential qualities, the more you live with ease and with fulfillment. And the world can drink from your saucer, like it doesn't have to drink from your cup. And as somebody who chronically overworked and has been through multiple burnouts and
Mhm.
has really struggled to find a balance between giving and receiving, it feels almost like a cat, like I'm living a fifth or a sixth life. And it's like, okay, here we are, and I get to sit here with you and really have enjoyment and gratitude.
I love that. And so you're talking about from the blueprint, and I talk about alignment, uh,
Yes.
right? And so it's just a different way of saying the same thing,
Mm.
that the more we show up in alignment to who we are, our values, what our body needs, then the easier everything else gets to be. Now, I don't tend to think that life is ever going to always be roses and easy, but I do think there gets to be easefulness in the living.
Yeah.
And when we come from that grounded, centered, present place within our body, it allows everything else to flow in a way that feels effortless.
Hmm. Yeah.
And in my work, it's money, right? But it's never just money. It's receiving in all forms. Like if we are on guard, if our nervous systems are on guard, it's really hard to accept a compliment.
Oh my God. I'm so glad you said that because receiving anything good, right? Like I
Mhm.
work with food and compliments are a kind of a soul nourishment,
Yep.
right? And there's a way that people will tense up to receive a compliment the same
Mhm.
way that they'll tense up to receive food.
Yep.
And it is wild to watch the barriers that the body makes.
And those barriers, like, they impact everything,
Mhm.
right? I like to say if you have a hard time receiving compliments, you're going to have a hard time receiving money. If you have a hard time receiving money, you're going to have a hard time receiving orgasms. If you have a hard time receiving orgasms, you're going to have a hard time receiving support. Like it just snowballs. Yeah. This is why. So I was redoing my website recently and I had somebody kind of looking over the new copy and they're like, Shana, you talk about the nervous system so much. If I didn't know you, I would think I'm coming to your website and you are a body worker of some sort. And I was like, oh, well, I don't really want that because I do so much other stuff other than just the nervous system work. Uh, But it's that important. It is that important. I think receiving, which means the nervous system work, is the most important skill set a business owner can cultivate.
Yeah, that's really beautiful. Can I share a somatic insight around this?
Of course, always.
So receiving is really about can I get something?
Hmm.
Then can I have it? Can I get it? And then can I have it? Because I can get it, but maybe I can't have it.
Right.
And you see this a lot with money, where it's like
Hmm.
it, whatever the studies are on people who win the lottery, right?
Hmm.
Get it, but they can't have it.
Yep.
And it's like, where is that going to go inside of me? And is there space inside of me
Hmm.
for something good to come in?
Yep.
And that's where, when you say the nervous system is your first CFO, it's like, well, if my body is organized for protection,
Hmm.
then, as the compliment comes in or the money comes in, I'm here, as
Hmm.
opposed to like being open to receive or being open to be supported.
Yep.
Or like the language that you used when we recently spoke is like, can you give consent for support?
Hmm.
And whenever I talk to my students about support, they're like, what support? Because you don't just arrive in a nervous system that's kind of pre-packaged. You arrive in a nervous system that is really programmable.
Hmm.
It's kind of like when you get a new phone and you have to decide what to enable and what to disable. Like what gets enabled and
Yep.
gets disabled, what gets toggled on and off, the settings of your nervous system is based entirely on environment.
Right.
From your preconception environment to conception to neurodevelopment to birth to those first 7 years. And I work
Hmm.
especially with the first two. It is wild that something that said, hey, there's no support when you're two
Hmm.
stays with you when, I'm like 45 and still struggling with the same thing.
It makes me a little teary when I think if we're talking about when I was two, or not, and I don't obviously I don't remember when I was two, but I lost my twin brother at 3.5 months.
Yeah.
And how did my nervous system take that loss and protect itself for all these years? Oh. So we actually have some people joining us in chat. So fabulous. Hi, Jerry. Hi, am I saying this right? Dagmar?
Dagmar is Dagmar. Yeah. Hi, Dagmar. It's so good to see you.
Welcome. And wonderful to have you both here, and anybody else who shows up. Please, if you have any questions, drop them in the chat. We'll pay attention and we'll get to them, I promise. Back to what you were saying, though, it's fascinating to me the way other people's stories, because yes, our nervous system is programmable, and a lot of times it's been programmed with our parents' stories, our great-grandparents' stories, our great-great-grandparents' stories. I also believe that as we do this healing work on our own nervous system, that healing gets to go backwards and forwards through time.
I feel that. I really feel that. I can viscerally feel it.
Yeah. So we are absolutely helping ourselves in this moment, in this present, to build the life of ease and comfort and presence that we desire. And we are actually creating ease for our mother, our grandmother, our great-grandmother, and for the people that come after us. And I don't have children, and I'm still passing healing forward through time.
Yeah.
And I just think it's absolutely beautiful. When you were talking about I can get, but can I have? I see it all the time. I mean, we talk about the studies around the lottery, but a lot of us here can't, we can imagine it, but the idea of getting millions or billions just is like, oh, that's a pipe dream.
Yeah.
But I bet everybody who watches this now or later has the experience of, oh, I got an extra $1,000. That's amazing. And then not 2 days later, crap, my car needs $1,000 repair.
Oh my God, story of my life.
And I do believe that that's partially the energetics of us being unable to receive, to hold what we were able to gather.
Exactly. Okay, I'm so glad you're saying this, because one of the things I've been working a lot on internally is holding. And I work a lot with boundaries, and there's this way in which boundaries have the function of containment and holding something good.
Yep.
So one of the things that happens to me a lot when I'm in different classes, like I take a lot of continuing education, and oftentimes maybe even the teacher asks something about does anyone have anything to say, and does anyone have an insight? And I'm like, I do, and I'm going to hold it. I'm just going to hold it. And sometimes I even think about hoarding, hoard your insights, Galina. I'll remind myself, because I'm so naturally generous. I'll give you the shirt off my back and more. I'll give you my bra and my shirt. I'm naturally so generous, and knowledge is one of the things that I can afford to be generous with, because I don't lose anything by sharing it.
Right.
But can I work on containing? Same when I work with people who have chronic fatigue. It's like the moment they get some energy, they're like, I'm going to clean the whole house. And it's like, enjoy having energy.
Yep.
Enjoy feeling good without having to spend it. What's it like to feel good without spending it? What's it like to hold knowledge without giving it? And I give a lot, all day long I give. It's like, I'm going to keep this one inside to myself.
This nugget's mine. This nugget's mine. When it comes to money, some of the work that I do with clients is help them set up different savings accounts for different purposes, right? So that when they do look, as we all do, we pull up our phone and we see how much money we have in our accounts. What's in their operating expense is what they actually have to share and give and, support their lives or their businesses with. And in the beginning, when we set that up, there is this nervousness about setting aside that money and holding it. Right? Oh, but But I just need this one thing. But do you need that right now?
Mm.
Well, no, but I have that money, so I can use that money to go do this thing, right? You absolutely can. It's your money and zero judgment from my part, right? We have to make sure it's very clear they have agency here. And you said your dream was this. This is supporting your dream. Is saying yes to whatever this thing is right now also supportive of your dream?
Yeah.
Well, no, not really. It can wait a month.
Yeah.
Great. What would you like to do now? And it is because it is so unnatural for us to hold.
It is very unnatural, especially if you didn't have.
Mhm.
Okay, so you know this about me, because I've shared with you, or specifically around money. I
Right.
grew up, and I know at least one of you here listening will understand this from your background. I grew up in socialism slash communism, and so we were trained, programmed, um,
Mhm.
to get ready for a life without money.
Yeah.
So it was like, okay, 3 more years, 2 more years, and then the Berlin Wall fell. It was
Mhm.
like, just get ready. You'll just be able to go in the store and just take what you like, and you will not need money. And so that was my life until I was 10 years old. So these are
Mhm.
very formative years. It wasn't just me preparing for a life without money. My parents were also preparing for a life without money.
Right.
And so to grow a relationship with something that I was told wasn't going to exist when I was a small child has been so interesting. My relationship with food has been, kind of the theme of healing of my life. So there's
Mhm.
food, there's chronic pain, there's relationships, there's money, there's
Yep.
all the themes. But it's so interesting how to be nourished um, without feeling overwhelmed by it. It's
Mhm.
so similar. It's like, can I allow financial well-being without being overwhelmed by it, or without having to, have to give it all away because it's so uncomfortable to have.
Yeah.
Um,
Speaking of food, I've I had a rough childhood. So
yeah.
I've been homeless. I have stolen from the grocery store the little can of Vienna sausages because you didn't need a can opener to open it, and it was all I was going to eat that day
Mhm.
or three.
Mhm.
So like I know about food insecurity, and it's interesting. There was a period of time where I would eat enough to satiate myself and then hoard food around me just in case I didn't have it later,
Of course.
right?
Of course.
Um, and then I would have times where I would eat anything and everything put in front of me again because I didn't know if I would have it later.
Of course.
So recently I held a retreat with a client of mine, which was so good. I want more of those. University listening.
More,
More,
please.
more, please. Uh, and one of the things that I was very clear on is that I wanted both of us to feel nourished in every way,
Mm,
right? So the Airbnb I rented was gorgeous, and the view was the ocean and sunrise. Uh, I brought in a personal chef that made us incredible, healthy meals and snacks. I did not set a time that we had to be up by. I am an early riser. I was still up by 5 or 6, but full permission for her to take as much rest as she
mm,
needed. And it was glorious. And
mm.
it was fascinating to watch because, I mean, it's the way my brain works. I quantify data like for fun. I know, I'm strange.
Me. 2 concussions on the left. I'm like, give the numbers to Shayna.
What was so interesting to me is I actually found that both of us ate less than we normally do. And I feel like it was because we were being nourished in all these other ways as well, that we weren't trying to satiate a need with food.
Yeah, this sounds like it's very interesting, right? When the environment shows you that it has enough and
Mhm.
more than enough,
Yeah.
And when there are, in our work, we call them layers of support. When there's layers of support there, like you brought in a chef, you weren't also making the meals, right? Like no one's stretched.
Yep.
There's layers of support there, that there's the beautiful holding of the space, there's the nourishment for all the senses with the beautiful views. And I'm sure it was just above and beyond energetically also. If it was where you live, it's like
Yeah.
energetically a beautiful space, and very, the space is nourishing, nature is nourishing. And then you have the food, and then you can just let go, and you
Mm-hmm.
can just be held. um, it's kind of like an actual nest. Like
Mm-hmm.
I use nests a lot in my work, and there's a way that like you can just nest and you can let go, and so then food can just be food. And
Mm-hmm.
we can eat it because we're hungry. We can eat it because it's beautiful or enjoyable, but we can sense what's enough because we're relaxed internally, that things are taken care of. When we're not relaxed internally, that things are taken care of, we can't sense enoughness.
Right. That makes sense. And probably why we tend to overeat. And people joke, it's like, oh man, I should have stopped 3 bites ago.
Right, but you didn't,
Mhm.
because there's so many reasons why. Sometimes I'll tell my students, like, your stomach might be full,
Mhm.
but your hands might still be hungry,
Okay.
or your mouth might still be hungry,
Mhm.
or your skin might not have received enough touch that day, so you're using the texture to stimulate skin.
Right.
And people don't realize how much we rely for our regulation, which regulation is a very specific thing about the nervous system. It's not being calm. How
Mhm.
much we rely on our regulation and our capacity on input from our hands, our nose, our ears. So, say a day that you had complete silence,
Mhm.
but your nervous system, the unique sensory makeup that you have, is you need some sound in order to feel regulated. You can use chewing to get that sound. You're just getting the sound of the food. So you might be super full, but your ears are still hungry.
Okay.
And it's like, what's it like to think about that? That is wild. When is the last time you listened to your food?
Mm.
With people who eat multiple, like 2, 3 pounds of carrots in one day. That's not very kind on the jaw,
Right.
and there's people who have very strong jaws and they can do it, but the people I work with are like, I can't keep doing this. Like it's just tearing me up. And we've discovered they're doing that because they need the sound. And it's like, okay, what's it like to, do some massage and make sure that we can relax the muscles and then
Mhm.
bring sound differently. And so it's, what people call overeating.
Mhm.
Is, sometimes it's for the taste, which is also a particular kind of input, but there
Sure.
can be many other things that we're seeking.
Interesting. I never thought about it that way. I know COVID was rough. COVID was rough, and I used to get massages every other week, and then COVID hit. Now I wasn't getting massages anymore. And my husband is very affectionate. Do not get me wrong. And I felt touch starved.
Mm.
And that was the language I would use. And I was also stuck at home, so I wasn't seeing new things. Like I can see, like in retrospect, putting myself back there, all the ways I used food trying to satisfy the other
Oh my God.
senses that needed the input. That
So
makes
many.
so much sense to me.
So many. And also, like, we were masked so much when we went
Mhm.
out. And one of the things that we need is, like, we evolved, the bodies we live in right now, we evolved in tribes of about 100 to 150.
Mhm.
So imagine that every day you want to see 100 to 150 people who know you, who smile when they see you, who can, support you, and you have mutual support and cooperation within the tribe, right? Like, if including, like, if you're a mom and there's something wrong and you can't breastfeed your kid, there's all these other moms who are happy to breastfeed your kid, right? So your kid doesn't go hungry. And so we're used to getting these cues of safety from facial expressions and the corners of the
Mm.
eyes lifted and tone of voice. And so what happens when all of a sudden you can't go and sing in the choir, or you can't go and see your friends at the grocery store, or
Mhm.
the local coffee shop, and whatever cute version of that you have where you live, there's like a cute version of that, I know. But there's a way that your face is hungry
Mhm.
for kind facial expressions that
Interesting.
we don't think about that. But then, it's the same nerves. So
Mhm.
the same nerves that perceive kind facial expressions, those same nerves, if I chew and I do a bunch of stuff with food, those
Mhm.
same nerves will get stimulated by the action of eating.
Yep.
And we don't have separate nerves for people and for food. They're the same. The social engagement nerves are the
Mhm.
same nerves for eating and for people.
Yep.
And so you can see how when everybody's like a masked bandit, for 2 or 3 years or however long it was really difficult.
It was really difficult.
And then we didn't know what to do. Like, I remember when we started unmasking, I was hiking on this kind of pretty tiny trail, and there were people coming down, and I had to sneeze. I literally threw myself in the bushes to sneeze. It was like a whole new thing that my body did to
Mhm.
hide my sneeze and to
Mhm.
put my sneeze away.
Yep.
I was like, that was not safe. You know?
Well, I mean, I have allergies. They're not horrible, but, I get the sniffles because the pollen count's super high, and I do catch myself, like, if I sneeze or if I cough, immediately, "It's just allergies. It's just like, letting everybody know that they're still safe.
I know. So
Yeah.
think about that extra level of vigilance
Mhm.
that we all had, where it's like, where my safety comes from,
Yep.
I actually can't fully receive it.
Mhm.
Of course, everybody turned to food during COVID, and if food wasn't helpful in this really beautiful, natural way, people wouldn't have turned to it.
Mhm.
Food is exceptionally helpful. That's why I never wanna take food behaviors away from people that are helping them.
Right?
I describe it as like, if food is your lifesaver and you're outside in the open ocean, we wanna make sure we build a big, sturdy boat that you can get on, and then
Mhm.
we're gonna take that lifesaver, we're gonna put it on the side of the boat. We're not gonna burn it, because if something ever happens in your life that all of your other resources are not available, that your ego strength is completely overwhelmed by the environment in which you are, like, maybe you went to, 3 funerals in 4 days,
Mhm.
horrible things happen, like, life can be very hard,
Mhm.
that you can always have food as a way to soothe yourself, always. Like, we never wanna take that off the table because it is our original source of soothing.
Yep.
You wanna make sure that your library of what your body finds soothing is so big
Mhm. Of
that
course.
that food is like you walk into the library, and food is like one of the letters in the library, but it's not the whole library.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. What you were saying was bringing up something for me, and then I didn't want to interrupt, so I'm kind of having to like, oh, what was that thought I had? What was that thought I had? Oh, I believe that even in this moment, you and I are energetically connected, even though we are thousands of miles apart,
Of
right?
course.
So I don't see 150 people a day.
I don't either,
I
thank God.
I see maybe I mean one in real life, my husband,
Yeah.
and then maybe 3 or 4 on Zoom. Like, that's my experience of seeing and engaging with people, on a one-to-one basis. I believe and I'm sure partially it's because of my belief that it's true that when I am engaging with you over video, I'm also engaging with you energetically, that
Mm,
we are together and I get to experience, that sense of and I feel a real sense of safety with you.
yeah.
Like, I can share my feelings if I'm having a bad day. I don't have to be perfect. You're not gonna judge me. Like, I adore you on so many levels, and part of that is that sense that I get to be me without
Mhm.
any attack from your side of the screen. Thank you for that, by the way. I know a lot of people are like, oh, I'm zoomed out. I can't talk to
Oh
another person.
God. Yeah.
um, how how do we get what we need as a human, as part of the tribe, when some of us are deeply introverted who don't like to be around people?
Mhm.
Like, what's the answer for people like that?
Yeah. Well, it's not a prescription that you have to see 150 people a day, but
I
that is the environment in which we grew up,
Yeah,
in which we developed, like our current
right.
bodies. Just like, um, we developed in nature, like,
Mhm,
you know, 168 hours a week in nature. I probably get 5 hours a week in nature, like, unless it's, like, a special holiday or something, like, it's just in
mhm,
my daily life, I spend so much of my time in the house or around the house.
mhm.
And so think about, like, that difference between how many hours in nature we developed in versus how many we get, and yet that half an hour of a walk or an
Mhm,
hour in your garden is, like, that makes all the difference. And so for each of us, we can figure out the dosage, of how many friendly faces we can take
mhm,
in a day. But I'll tell you one thing I've done with some of my students that might be really wild. And I'm looking over there because I have a wall of the people who support me. I have pictures of the people who support me. Like my best friends are there. My right hand, Derek, is there. My therapist, my stepkids are there on that wall.
yeah,
Other friends, my grandmother. So I can look over there and I can see so many of the people I love smiling at me
mhm,
without necessarily, having to call them or see them.
yeah, yeah,
And I've worked a lot with people who struggle to eat sitting at a table
mhm,
because the dinner table, just the associational network of table, meal, their home environment was in some ways either unsupportive, neglectful, or violent.
mhm,
And so sitting at a table is just not a right environment to eat. And what we've done is put pictures that they find online of people that they like, and you can put Tina Turner at the table if you like. It can be somebody who's not in your life at all, but who you love.
Right?
And like, what's it like to put the pictures of those people on the other chairs and
Mm,
sit for a little bit? And it is wild, just like your brain doesn't distinguish between when you think about a lemon and you salivate, or you have an actual lemon and you salivate. Like,
yep,
having these friendly faces there, some of my students are like, this is the first time I've been able to sit at a table and eat. And it's not that we have to sit at a table. I support most people to eat on the couch. It's better for the body.
right.
And in front of the TV, better for the body. Like, I can go on a whole rant about this. But if you want to learn how to eat at a table, because maybe, when you visit your husband's family, they all eat at a table and you're like, I
Mhm,
can't eat a meal in this position. How amazing it is that we can receive
mhm,
input from friendly faces, even if we're not, like, necessarily talking to them or seeing them. So, um, I would say just noticing, even if you only talk to one person, notice the corners of their eyes lifted. Notice that their eyes are, sparkling something at you, or notice the tone of their voice. And like you said, you feel safe with me. Like, notice that there's a relational openness,
mhm,
the same we're kind of in the same relational river and it feels warm. Like,
yeah,
notice that, and just kind of marinate in the awareness of it. And you might be with one person and marinate for 3 minutes in the warmth of the connection, and that might fill your whole tank, as
mhm,
opposed to, seeing 100 people and not feeling anything at all.
yeah. I love that.
I know that was a very long,
No, it was
meandering
perfect.
question.
Well, and what I love is we come at the nervous system from, I mean, the nervous system is the nervous system, right? But we come at it from different perspectives. I look at it as our ability to receive particularly money, but support, and how does that impact your business? How does it impact your capacity to hold the business that you want so that you can have the impact you want to have? And you come at it from food, and the way, all the ways that also impacts your life and makes it more beautiful. What I find fascinating is we use similar techniques and similar, I mean, I'm guessing we have learning in common, if not exact. But like one of the exercises I will do with a client is have them come up with a board of directors, right?
Mhm.
You're talking about having Tina Turner on the chair if that's who you want, and I have clients that are imagining Obama in a chair offering his support and his wisdom to their business, their impact goals. And it's for the same reason, right? If you can put yourself in a room with anybody, imagined or real, that they feel like they're in support of you, they bring, confidence, you feel they're kind, they're generous, like they've got your back. Suddenly, what you believe is possible for you
Mhm.
expands, right?
Absolutely.
And it goes to that, I can get, but can I have,
Exactly.
right?
Exactly. You spoke about ancestry earlier, and what you're saying right now really reminds me of all the practices I've done with having my ancestors at my back, supporting me, but also kind of renegotiating and healing the loyalty to the
Mhm.
family system around not having.
Yeah.
Like we belong in the suffering or we belong in the not having.
Mhm.
And what's it like to now do something good with my life to honor my ancestors and have them at my back and to have encouragers and people who want to see you thrive because we need the internal resources but we so need external resources. Like there's times that you challenge me and you're like your language is like really like not going to support you to go where you're going,
Mhm.
and it's like how can we change that? And if you don't challenge me lovingly,
Of
like
course.
so I can feel myself, then there's no expansion. And I think it's so important that we surround ourselves with the Shaynas and the Obamas of the world and the Tina Turners of the world and our ancestors so that we can be like, oh, the way that I will expand is into an environment that supports me. The
Mhm.
same with food.
Yep.
How often I work with people who've struggled with weight most of their life for whatever reason, and they'll say, I get to a weight where I feel good,
Mhm.
I can't sustain it. It's like I can get there, but I can't have it
Yep.
because it feels so threatening to be at
Mhm.
that weight, whether that's a higher or lower, whatever it is. People are all over the place with
Yep.
body weight. But especially when I work with people who are very underweight, it's so scary. It is so scary. And it's like I go up to the weight that supports my life, but then that starts to challenge my relationships and I go back in.
Yep.
It's a real thing that who you
Mhm.
surround yourself with really matters.
Yeah. There's a study, or not a study, it's a quote from, I want to say John Maxwell, who's a leadership coach, written a bunch of books,
Yep. Old,
that says,
like, classic.
yeah, classic stuff. And one of the quotes, and I believe it's a John Maxwell book, that is, we become the average of the 5 people we spend the most time around.
I think it's him. Yep.
And I think I really believe it's true, because I notice that when I am around people who are very dysregulated, um, I start to dysregulate, but I also, and who knows where this comes from in my childhood, I become the person who's like trying to manage everybody's dysregulation, which is dysregulating me, because I am putting me last and trying to solve all their issues. Not my responsibility, not my circus, not my monkey.
But you know how everybody speaks about co-regulation,
Mhm.
but we so rarely speak about co-dysregulation
Mhm.
because we are tribal and
Yep.
the brain is a social brain. And yes, we use words to communicate, but bodies talk to bodies all the time.
Mhm.
And all it takes is a couple of people not breathing around you and your body's
Why
like,
am I anxious? I don't understand. And yeah, what you're doing is you're feeling everybody else holding their breath.
mhm. And
Yep.
if you're like me, and like you just named, like
Mhm.
feeling everybody else on the inside of you,
Mhm.
than all the survival programming of I have to regulate the environment to regulate myself.
Mhm.
And that's a lot of weight to carry.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I do make a point of the people that I spend my most time with are also people who want to do both the inner and the outer work to experience their best life, however they define their best life.
Yeah.
Right? And I love it. Like, and we're none of us are perfect. I am not perfect. I stop using my tools every so often. It's always my first question when I'm like, why isn't things working out for me? Oh, what tools
Mm,
did I stop using?
yeah.
That's it. Um, and I believe we're all on a journey,
Mhm.
and that there is a period of time where we are journeying together, and then our paths may split, and it doesn't mean anything good, bad, or ugly about the people journeying. It's just their journey took them in different directions.
Yeah.
Right? We get to hold it with that kind of kindness. And I feel when I do that, when I'm intentional about the people I'm with, when I release people from my journey from as a point of kindness and compassion, not judging. And naturally, I'm not like, you're fired, you're not doing the work. Like, don't get me wrong, it's not like that. But you just notice this person doesn't want what I want.
Yeah.
They're wonderful human beings, and I'm going to keep going in this direction.
Exactly.
Right?
Exactly. And when you have this, we spoke about the blueprint earlier, and you spoke
Mhm.
about alignment. When there's an alignment between the gifts that we come with and our values, and where we are most at ease and most ourselves in the world
Mhm.
and the outside, it's like it's a win-win for everybody.
Yep.
And when we're trying to, um, I always talk to my students about being a cooked spaghetti. When you gotta be like cooked spaghetti and like mold around everyone else,
Mhm.
it just eventually you lose the shape that is your original shape. We can no
Yep.
longer tell like what kind of pasta were you making, when you've made yourself some crazy ribbon shape to match someone else.
Stuffed shell. I'm a stuffed shell.
Yeah, man, if I would be pasta, I think I would be the anything stuffed with with ricotta. I don't
Mm,
those little rectangular ones stuffed with
yeah,
ricotta and pesto. I would be one of those.
sounds good. Yeah. Um, Again, I keep having so many thoughts as you speak, um, that I keep having to like reach back to the ether and grab it again. It's like, don't, no, don't escape. You can't escape. Uh, One of the things that I do to one, regulate my nervous system, but also to engage with people, like you get to experience this on the regular with me, is I dance, right? I if I have a hungry sense, it is my ears. Um, I have music or a book playing almost nonstop. There is always some sort of music. If I'm going on vacation, I want to go to a place typically with an ocean where I don't have to do anything. I just want to hear the ocean crashing. Like that is my happy place.
Mhm.
And I use this need for music as a way of engaging with one, what it does in my body. I feel very loose when the right song comes on and I get to move to it. And I energetically connect to a person and I celebrate the crap out of them for the entire length of the song. And I believe money loves joy. And
Mhm.
we could really draw this line directly to the nervous system, right? Money loves joy. The energy of anything we want to receive loves to come to a receptacle who is prepared to hold it.
Yeah.
And it takes that piece, which I am going to associate with the word joy, in order to hold,
Mhm.
in
Mhm.
order to actually let whatever it is, however we are being nourished, food, money, support, for us to hold it, the receptacle, us, our bodies, our energetic bodies, our spiritual bodies, all of our bodies have to be in a state of receptivity.
Absolutely.
And for me, that's dance. That's music. Like the two. And I am the whitest girl to ever dance. I have no rhythm whatsoever. But I throw myself into it.
Oh my God, I can't wait to see. We're about to go on an adventure together soon, so I can't wait to see.
Can you believe that we have yet to meet in person?
It's happening.
It is. We're like a week out or so, just over a week. We're coming up to our time. You have a retreat that you're doing soon in May, I believe. Right?
We start May 30th through June 6th. So it's the first week of June.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm going to be honest with you. I have not worked it out yet, but I am trying to figure out how I can come. I'm trying. I'm putting it out there to the universe. I want to make this happen.
Or to do this. I'll figure out to build an altar for it later. I'll figure it out. That'd be amazing.
I know that this work is the key to receptivity. I have what I have learned, and I know that you have years more of training, years more a depth of knowledge that I do not. And I would love to learn from you. Would love to learn from you. So I want to come. I'm going to try and figure it out. But I'd also love to invite my people along. So tell us about the retreat.
Oh my God. I just got so excited. Like my legs are a little shaky. So I teach several retreats a year, but this is what I call the summer retreat or the big retreat. And this is our somatic summer camp. And we call it summer camp because for the longest time, women would come to retreat and not be able to explain to their husbands where they're going. So eventually one of my students named it. She was like, I'm at camp. I'm at summer camp. And I was like, that's it. That's it. We don't have to explain because as you know, somatic work, nervous system work, it's like trying to explain a sunset to somebody who's never seen one. And so calling it summer camp was like just perfect. And what we do is we are landing in a place this year. I love doing the retreat in a place that is really beautiful. The number of retreat centers I've said no to because they're not beautiful enough. Yep. It's like, sorry, love the indoors, the outdoors. Nope, we need a more beautiful place. So we're gonna be in the Santa Monica Mountains, right outside of LA, about 40 miles from LAX. We tried to find a place that you don't have to trek in the mountains and take 3 planes and then a shuttle and a boat and a donkey, you know, like we have to find a place that's easily accessible for people who don't want to trek altitude and, you know, difficult mountains can still enjoy mountains. And we are going with 12 to 14 people. We'll see. We have 2 spots right now, so we'll see how many. We're going with 12 to 14 people. One of my colleagues who's the most exceptional trauma practitioner I know as a layer of support for me, and a physical therapist who I adore, who's going to be offering the body work. But what's most important is we're taking a week to take the body through a somatic arc of increasing nervous system capacity, which rests on the model, the somatic model of what we call the nourishment cycle, which is how does a body somatically prepare to open up more space, to receive more, to hold more, but also to be able to enjoy more. And we do all of this through practices that increase our capacity to be with what is pleasurable and what is enjoyable, even though there's in the field, there's trauma. In the field, there's difficult things that happened, childhoods of scarcity and neglect. Everyone who comes, who struggles with food or struggles with money or struggles with creating what they want to create in their life, have something that has happened in the past where the nervous system had to organize towards protection, not towards connection. And even though there's difficult content, we don't go looking for it. We're not doing, I call it trauma archaeology. We're not looking for what are the difficult things that happened. We give your system a new set of input
Mm-hmm.
from the morning when you wake up and you come and do an outdoor practice that is around the five senses and building a beautiful thing together and then doing gentle movement together through the day, where we have somatic practices that are actually, all of our somatic practices are custom made for the intentions of the people who are coming.
Mm-hmm.
For retreat, we have an intention session so we can receive the intentions that's happening in a week or so, and then we craft every single experiment based on people's intentions. And
Mm-hmm.
what's really beautiful about an energetic container like a retreat is we see, usually by the time the first 6 or 7 people have signed up, I'm like, oh, I'm seeing the themes. What happens is, like,
Yep.
every retreat is a battery. And
Yep.
so the people who come will have very similar intentions. And so then we have our work throughout the day that has the body lab experiments, the somatic experiments that are based on the intentions. But also what we're doing the whole time is you have all these people encouraging you and loving you and supporting you and cheering you on. Like that outside, the Tina Turners and the Obamas and the Shaynas of the world are there to encourage you. And then we have everything taken care of. You know,
Mm-hmm.
you have a beautiful room to retreat to that's all yours, that you don't have to share. You can sit by the pool, you can sit by the river, you can go in the gym, you can go do trail walking if you want to walk on the trails. And it's just us. There's no outside people. We're bringing a private chef so that we can have all the nourishing, amazing food that we want. But it's kind of like everything's taken care of. So you can rest, you can take part in the activities, you can get body work.
Mm-hmm.
And what I love, as you know, putting on a retreat is a lot of work.
It is.
It is a lot of
Absolutely.
work.
Absolutely.
It's exactly because it's a lot of work that is so
Mm-hmm.
powerful.
Yeah.
We spend months and months and months preparing and making sure that everybody has exactly what they need, so that you can come into a space and your nervous system can go, oh, I can actually let down. I can feel welcome. I
Mm-hmm.
feel like I can land, and that people just want to give me, and I don't have to do anything other than show up.
Yep.
It's like, sign me up.
Yep.
And I did 3 retreats last year, and it was like July, August, September, and in October I was like, I feel, the only way I can describe it is I felt rich. Like the inside of my body felt like I had experienced, it's like when you're observing a birth, like when you're watching a baby being born, when you get to hold a newborn. It's like you just feel full of the goodness of humanity.
Mm-hmm.
And yes, I love my students. I see online every day, but what happens at retreat is just magic. So to anyone who's feeling tired, or like they want someone else to take care of things, or they want to just feel like they can rest, like all the way down in their bones,
Mm-hmm.
or who's getting ready for a big expansion and just wants to create the container for it,
Yeah.
you are more than welcome. Any friend of Shayna's is my friend, and I can't wait. And Shayna, if you make it happen, whether it's this year or another year, I'll be like dancing circles around you. Cartwheels.
Cartwheel. I love it. I want to come. And I would say for my people, because my people tend to be business owners, like this work is part of the work. Like capital T, capital W. If you have a big money goal, a big impact goal, a vision for your life that you're like, I know I want it, and I have no idea if I have the capacity to hold it, how I will get there. This retreat isn't about strategy and things like that. It's preparing your nervous system so you can step into the identity of the person who can hold that dream.
Yeah, I feel
Right?
it.
So, and yes, it is a business write-off. Just saying.
Just saying.
You get to write it off on your taxes.
Just saying. Here comes the CFO.
I will make a point of sharing your, because I have the link. I will
Thank
share
you.
it with my
Appreciate it.
list. The beautiful thing about these Substack lives, it's going to give us all sorts of videos we can share. So, everybody, be prepared to get sick of me talking about the nervous system, and
Yeah.
then I'm going to keep talking about it some more until you fall in love with it.
I love it. I love it. I love it. You know, I've been sitting here with the lyrics. There's there's this song called "Gentle with Myself" by
Mhm.
Karen Drucker, and
Yep.
there's a line in it that says you can only go as fast as the slowest part of you feels safe to go.
Mhm.
And that is so true.
Yep.
And there is so much respect and love and care and nurturing holding for the slowest parts of us.
Mhm.
Um, Expansion doesn't happen through push.
Nope.
It happens through becoming. Um, I have this image of a nest, like through building a bigger nest for
Mhm.
what's to come. Um, and you know, if you're like me and you started with a hummingbird sized nest, like it takes time to build that capacity. But, you know, if I can do it and I
Yeah.
can do it, Shayna's help and, you know, all the beautiful teachers I've had, then you can do it too.
Yeah. I talk about it as, all growth happens outside of the comfort zone, right? That's the expanding
Oof,
of the nest,
that's true.
right? And I don't want people to leap out of their comfort zone. That's too scary. That's too hard on. But a step, one step, you get used, you get comfortable, you find your feet there. So now your comfort zone is expanded, the nest has grown. And when it's right, you take that next step.
Yep.
And it just gets to be easy and beautiful. I want to say easeful. I actually don't like the word easy. Easeful, beautiful, gentle. And the nervous system responds to that.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. It's ancient and responds. And you
Mhm.
know what's coming, something came to me and then escaped as you were speaking, as the next step and the next step and the next step. Um yeah, if it comes back, I'll put it in the comments.
That'd be great. All right, love. Thank you so much for your time on this beautiful Friday afternoon.
Thank you so much.
I'm really looking forward to seeing you in like a little over a week. I can't believe it. I get Galina hugs.
We have an amazing retreat to go to together. That's not my retreat, but another shared retreat. You know what? This is what was coming to me.
Mhm.
I was in a kind of a content creation space, and we were asked to remember the times and the places where we got most connected with the vision for growth or the capacity for growth, and it was all at retreats and workshops.
Mhm.
It was never um like I was, doing my Monday morning list. It
Yeah.
was never that. It was I made space
Mhm.
and I said I'm making the space. I'm taking this week, and then it'll come,
Yep.
and it always happens.
Yep. Profit is Protest was born out of a retreat.
Was
I
it?
It was. I went to Kyoto to work with Ken Honda of Happy Money. There was about 30
Jeez.
of us on a retreat together. Had an amazing 4 days experience and seriously outside of my comfort zone. That wasn't a step. That was more like 5 or 6 steps, but it wasn't a leap either. So
It was a broad jump.
yes, but I did it and it was incredible. And when I came home, I was journaling as I do and integrating everything that I learned, experienced, felt, the people I talked to, the strangers I met, all the things. And I wrote, it was May 9th, Profit is Protest in my journal. And everything in my body lit up. And I haven't shut up about it since. Yep.
Jeez, I love it. Thank you for sharing that.
Yep. Retreats. I want to go on 2 a year. That's like for myself. Honestly, I like something every 90 days, but 2 could be like online or much, much smaller or even a local get together. But I want 2 out of my environment retreats a year.
Yeah. Yeah, that's beautiful. I support you in that. Let's call it in.
So June would be number 2. I'm just saying, we'll see. I am really trying to work it out.
Let's make it happen. Let's make it happen. There's Wi-Fi.
Excellent.
People like, are you gonna take our phones? And I was like, you know what? You get to decide if you want your phone or not. I'm not doing anything to you.
You are an adult and you have agency.
I know. It's
Yes.
beautiful.
Thank
Much
you,
love.
Jerry, Margaret, and Dagmar for joining us and staying with us this whole time. It means the world to me. Please give it a no, don't. I want you to think about it. I want you to feel into it. Feel into if Galina's retreat is for you. And if not this year, maybe a follow one, but she is definitely somebody you should connect with in some way.
Yeah. Thank you. Thank you for being here. And thank you, Shane. I appreciate you so much.
All right. Bye, ladies.
Bye. Take care.